Hi everybody and welcome to SED 530. I'm going to post videos most every week that will give you a little insight into the content of the week to kind of update you and upload information that you need to know. So this video for our first week is just going to be an overview and introduction to the Blackboard site and the course itself. The first thing you need to know is this course will run, whether we're on campus or online, entirely through Blackboard. Everything will be linked through Blackboard. All the assignments are in Blackboard. Everything you complete will be uploaded to Blackboard. So you need to make sure you're really comfortable in Blackboard and you've checked the site out thoroughly and that you're checking your EKU email several times a week to get any updates. I'll post new information through the announcement section, so you want to make sure that before we have any online or on-campus class that you're checking the announcements. For example, there's already an update, and we're going to be using some special technologies because we have some students who won't be able to make it on campus for the class, and so they are doing, we're not only doing the hybrid class, but they're also going to be doing distance learning for this class. And that technology isn't completely set up yet. So we will not actually meet on campus this Thursday, but it will be next Thursday, which is January the 29th, that we'll meet on campus. So if you have any questions between now and next Thursday, please email me or give me a call and check Blackboard, follow the steps and the course syllabus outline to make sure that you're up to date with everything that needs to be done. I'll walk you through some of that right now. Underneath the update, you will see all the older announcements. So the welcome announcement is still there and available. And the welcome walks you through some of the basics of the class, some reminders about the course syllabus and schedule, and gives you some things to do. So please make sure you follow all of these steps, that you're reviewing the syllabus, that you have a Gmail account, which will give you access to what's called a Google Drive, and we'll talk more about that. You definitely need to make sure that you have a clean Facebook account, so either clean your Facebook account up or start a new Facebook account. Principals and administrators look for Facebook accounts and want to see those active and clean, so make sure that yours looks good and that you've friended the special education site that I have on Facebook to give you an idea of what's expected. You will get an invitation from me to something called Dropbox if you haven't used that before. That's basically an online folder we can use to put information. We'll also be looking at some different websites for teachers. One is Class Dojo, one is Nearpod, and the other is Padlet. So you'll need to just set up accounts in Class Dojo and Nearpod, and then at Padlet you'll actually want to go in and introduce yourself and welcome, and then it's good to go ahead and set up your own Padlet account. You're also going to want to set a free account up in the Marzano site. The Marzano site has just tons of great information, but we're specifically going to be using the Becoming a Reflective Teacher rubrics later, so you'll want to make sure that you've set up that account. After saying all of that, I would like to remind you, don't panic, just relax. This class is going to be phenomenal. We're going to use tons of technology that can support students with moderate to severe disabilities, but I will support you as we learn about these technologies. So ask questions. There are some links and helps at EKU that you can use. You definitely can find lots of great YouTube videos to help set things up. So don't be afraid to ask me, ask your classmates, or ask Google. Google has great answers. It's a good idea as we start this class. We'll be using so many different technologies and you'll be setting up accounts on free sites. I will not ask you to do anything that requires you to pay for an account or a website or any of those things. They're all free that we're using, but you'll still need to make sure you've got a way to manage your usernames and passwords. I use a Microsoft Word document that I've password protected. You might want to use something like this LastPass access tool. Whatever you use, just make sure you've got that so that no one else can access your passwords, but that you have a running list so that you don't get locked out of accounts because you don't remember your information. So let's go back up. You'll notice that the first thing you need to see and the first thing you need to do every week, several times a week, is check the announcements. Course information is the next link in Blackboard, and this is where you'll find the course syllabus and the calendar. Depending on if you're in 5:30 or 7:30, your syllabi are both here, and we will walk through those in a few minutes. The course schedule is where I always start as a student, and you might want to begin, you definitely want to save the course syllabus. This is your guide that will tell you every week what to do in class. You want to make sure that you keep up with your course schedule. And it has both 5:30 and 7:30 in the course schedule. This is a reminder that we will not have classes on campus on Tuesdays, but you will get uploads from me and information on Tuesdays that remind you about a video, a view website, a PowerPoint, something you need to look at to prepare for class. So make sure that you check on that Tuesday upload. And then on the Thursdays we meet on campus, you're going to need to bring the data catcher that you've created for that week, your computer, your textbooks, because we'll be doing lots of assignments. We'll be doing active engagement. So I'll be giving you scenarios and saying, okay, we've got a student with this disability, let's create an activity that they could do in reading class. Each week you'll have something due. The nature of this course is there's so much information that we have to have a way to organize it so that you can access it later. And that organizational tool is called a data catcher, which is a graphic organizer or an advanced organizer. In the first week, you'll be doing two. One, just to get used to doing a data catcher. That's kind of our intro, welcome to the syllabus. And then thereafter, we'll just do one data catcher a week. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see what to do every week. The center column has the weekly concept, and then the far left has what week we are in the semester. Note that the data catchers are all listed in black, and then if there's an additional assignment due, those bigger assignments, those are in red. And if it's in red, please remember that those assignments must be completed in order for you to earn your grade for the semester. Otherwise, you'll have an incomplete until those assignments are completed. So make sure that you get everything in. I know that you all are great students and you'll do that, but the red assignments are absolutely required. Note that if you're in 7:30, you'll be doing an additional lit review in week 12. If you're in 5:30, you do not have to do that assignment. And for the final, 5:30 we'll be taking an exam, and 7:30 we'll be completing a paper. So those are the differences. If it doesn't have a 5:30 or 7:30 by it, then everyone is doing it. So like this hands-on intervention unit, both 5:30 and 7:30 are completing it. The IEP project the same way. But if it has a 7:30 by it, only 7:30 is doing it. And if it has just a 5:30 by it, then only 5:30 is doing it. Otherwise, everyone is doing the assignments up and down this list. Alrighty, I'm going to close the schedule and the other classes schedule that popped up there, and I'm going to go to the syllabus. The differences between the 5:30 syllabus and 7:30 syllabus is 7:30's describes that article critique, and it describes the final paper, which is different than 5:30, but I'm going to open 5:30 syllabus just so that we can walk through what's in 5:30. And know that the information is the same other than what I just told you about the different assignments. The two texts are both textbooks designed for preschoolers with disabilities, with moderate to severe disabilities. And we're using these two books because they have the foundational skills that we know students with moderate to severe multiple disabilities still are working to master up into even young adulthood, and might be skills that they work on through the entirety of their lives. A great example of that would be my son, and I'm going to show you a picture real quick. Let me click down on all the things I have open. So right here you'll see a picture of my family. I've got three fantastic daughters, our oldest Catherine, Elizabeth, and Lily, and we call them the thorns among our rose because they love to help Dan and support Dan, and sometimes he gets a little irritated with them, so we tell him, all our rose, you must deal with the thorns, as they tell him what to do. Dan just turned 16, and he has been diagnosed with autism and epilepsy and is nonverbal. He uses a wide variety of communications and technologies to support his work at communicating with us. And what's been developed in this course specifically has been designed to address the needs of Dan and students like Dan that need those extra layers of support. So the textbooks that we've chosen have great foundational skills that we will use throughout this education of students with moderate to severe disabilities. And you'll definitely want to hang on to those because it walks you through the developmental cycle of learning and kind of leads us to the next step. If a student has this skill, what comes next? If a student is missing this skill, then how do we teach it? Our student learning outcomes are to use technology to support students with moderate to severe and multiple disabilities. We obviously want to support students in the least restrictive environment possible, and we want to use a variety of high-tech and low-tech to support students not only in school but in their daily living and their activities of daily living, their ADLs. I'm going to skip through parts of the syllabus just to get us to the things we really need to cover. If you have questions about anything I've skipped over, please let me know and I'm happy to go back through that. Know that the attendance policy requires that students participate either online by completing the assignments or on campus by completing attending class or by participating in the way that we've set up. And that's a requirement of the course. There's so much to learn in this class that if you miss or don't complete lots of assignments, you're going to not master the content. We expect all students to maintain EKU's high standard of academic integrity, and that includes using appropriate sources through APA style. Through the course outline, we talked about some of the things we're going to master for students with moderate to severe disabilities. Know that you have to have a computer. Obviously, to engage in Blackboard to watch this video, you have to use a computer, and when you're on campus, you will have to use a computer. This class is work intensive, so know that there will be about 12 hours a week of work on this course. I hope that you feel like it's as well worth it as I feel like the content is for this class, but there's lots to do, so make sure that you've set aside time in your calendar to complete the work for this class so you can get as much as possible out of it. Evaluation methods we're going to talk about at the very end of the syllabus. Excuse me, so I'm going to flip past. Person-first language is a crucial professional skill. And that involves putting the person first and not focusing on their disability and using the appropriate language. So we don't use language like a student is autistic, that autistic kid, but rather we say the student with autism, the student has autism. We don't use the word retarded, we use intellectual disability. If there's any content that you are not familiar with when you read through this list, please let me know and I'm happy to let you know how to say things in people first language. If you need to contact me, email is the best way, and Monday through Friday, I am quick to respond and happy to respond. On the weekend, I'm spending time with my kids, so I'm not as quick to get to my email. So if you have a question that comes up on the weekend, check with a peer or know that I'll be glad to get back with you on Monday. And when you email, make sure that you're very clear what class you're in and what your question is so that I can answer it as quickly as possible without having to do a lot of research on your name and what class you're in and what you might be asking me. I will, whoops, sorry, the lights come on and off in here. Hold on, we have to flip the light back on. Whoa. There we go. Your class participation and active participation happens when you engage in discussion and in discussion boards. And I'm looking for that. That active participation is different than just participation that says, I saw your name pop up in Blackboard or I saw your body in a seat, but it's actual engagement. So it's possible for you to arrive in class or to sign into discussion board, but not earn all your points if you're not fully engaging. If you've got questions about what active participation looks like, please let me know, and I'm happy to define that further. We're looking at a flipped classroom concept, and this is one of the newer concepts in education that has a good deal of research behind it. The flipped classroom says rather than coming to class and learning a concept and then going home and trying to practice on your own, we'll do some work ahead of time to learn about a concept through a video, guided notes, through the advanced organizers that I have in 530. And then when you come to class with the professor or with a teacher in an elementary, middle, or high school classroom, then you're going to engage in the actual content. And we can do that through videos, through all different ways in the P through 12 classroom, the same as through our class. And so I'll be modeling that flipped classroom concept here for us. Our time is almost out for this video. I'm going to pause this one and I will post a part 2 here in just a few minutes.